if you're dealing with songwriting, you should live poetically. It's not like you put on your poetic hat when you write a song, you know? And like when the combination of elements is right and the molecules align, a very beautiful thing seems to crystallize. And in our realm we're referring to, it's a sonic kind of crystallization. We appreciate it so much, we have to do something, we have to shout about it.
Yeah. All right, hey, y'all. Welcome to Everybody Gets 15 Minutes here at Waterloo Records in Austin, Texas. A quick conversation with some of our favorite acts we have the privilege of hosting live in-store right here on our own stage. I'm Gus Ochoa, and this is Dylan Bishop of Audio, Texas.
Hello.
And yes, I did ask beforehand how to pronounce that.
And you nailed it. He didn't need to ask, but he did.
It's becoming a thing on my show. It's like, did I pronounce that correctly?
Oh my God. Preaching to the choir here, yeah.
Dude, seriously, welcome to Waterloo. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, awesome.
Very good.
Is this
Thank
your
you.
first time in this new space?
Yeah, it is. I was just down the road, and I was popping off at another spot on the way here, and I was informed about it.
Yeah.
So it is. It's fresh news to me. I like it already. It's a good feeling here.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about I never address the surroundings when I'm doing this, but it's like, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
I came in with my red shades on, so I didn't notice it for the longest time. I took them off and realized the wall is red without my glasses too. It's a beautiful wall. It's a beautiful place. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, if Kyle Bunting's listening, Kyle, there a little shout out to the artist who made this happen. Have you played Waterloo before, or is this your first time?
This is my first time.
Very cool, man. I love your sound. I was talking about it a little bit before as well. Y'all are described as 60s psychedelic, Austin blues. Some people say a little cosmic country even. And I've known your drummer, Damien, for a while now. I'm not going to say how long because then people do the math and they'll be like, I know how old you are. But for me, he's been one of the like in-demand like players in town. Like he's played with Nick Curran, Los Coast, 8.5 Souvenirs, a little bit, Hot Club of Cowtown even. How did y'all get started with Audio, Texas? How did this whole situation come to be?
So I was familiar with Damien for quite a while too before I actually got to know him. I was in Fort Worth and before I came here to Austin, and I was through Nick Curran too. I was really into Nick. So I found a few of those pieces. You know, I never saw Nick in person, but I was very familiar with him. And I tracked down everyone I could connected to Nick. You know, Billy Horton too has been a formative man for me. And then it's funny how things work out. I guess when your intentions maybe are right or something, that I've gotten as close as I have to Damien because I knew him and looked up to him as a hero long before I met him. And our paths have melded in such a nice way.
Yeah.
So I came to town and very quickly got to know Damien, and we connected. I think we sat in on the same kind of stage, and we connected on the traditional rhythm and blues thing. Yeah. You know, for more or less.
Yeah, he kills it.
He does. Yeah. That's what first attracted me to him, was his like natural feel for that. And then we put together a residency we were doing at Seaboys, and it was me, him, and Billy Horton was on bass. And a guy named Billy Pittman was on rhythm guitar, and a great band, and doing this residency every week. And we started to jam it out a little more. And eventually Damien suggested we try jamming out with Gian. And I never met Gian, the bass player. But so he was just like, yeah, you know, we try to jam it out a little more this way. And it very, very naturally fell into a place. You know, we got together at Gian's place one night, and it was funny. The first time there wasn't much spark lit. I think everyone was just still in their little world, and then the second time it just clicked, and ever since then it's like, here we are.
That's a great sign when it just clicks like that.
Man, it's so special.
So when y'all were doing that residency at Seaboys, was it called anything, or were y'all just like?
It was probably just under my name, Dylan Bishop.
Okay,
yeah, I was still doing things in that way, and it's been Damien has been very much encouraging all along of trying new things, and it's so nice being with the guys, people you can trust in that way, you know, their tastes and their sensibilities are so solid.
Yeah,
and unbiased, honestly, you know.
It's great when three people can get together like that and have that relationship in that way and express it musically. And I don't want to leave Gian out of this either, because I was saying before we started talking, I'm watching y'all's performance on KTX, and I knew what I knew about Damien, but I was watching you play.
Yeah.
And like I said, you're just like effortlessly good. As somebody plays a guitar, I'm like watching it and going, that's really awesome. And then Gian obviously is just like these tasty little bass. My eyes, I couldn't figure out which one to focus on. It was so good. So Texas. Where'd you come up with the name?
We got that from a movie. Damien and I used to have a place together. We were living over on by some train tracks. We would stay up all night watching movies and stuff sometimes. And we were watching Giant. I don't know if you've seen that movie, Giant.
Yeah, James Dean and Elizabeth Taylor.
That's right. Yeah. So Damien is always he shows me cool things in all the cool mediums and film. He turned me on to that movie, and he saw that, and he's the one that captured it in a certain kind of way. And we changed it some to make it our thing, but it has some inspiration there at least. And there's not much to it, but it's kind of one of those things that it's funny as we go down our path now, it reveals itself, like a signpost or something. Texas. New meaning.
Yeah, and for those out there that don't know, it's French for I'm from Texas.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
So there's another one for the French out there.
I love that. I'm doing great with my pronunciations today. I also so you have Suit Yourself that's just come out. It's 2 different EPs, right?
Yes, we put it out originally as a side A and a side B.
Okay.
And now we just have released it as a CD we have for the whole thing contained on one, and it's available on the digital platforms. I think maybe still has 2 sides, but it's a full length now.
First of all, I love the music, absolutely, but I'm always talking about the artwork of these things, dude. The artwork on this is amazing, like a 70s menswear catalog or something.
Yeah, well,
it's so, dude. Is that part of the aesthetic? I mean, like when I hear your band, I straight up want it to be like the background music at a party that I'm throwing at like my place in LA in 1969. You know, I mean, do you think about that artwork in the same way that you think about the music?
We definitely do.
Like when conveying like a "this is who we are" kind of thing.
Yeah, we do. It's something that we'd considered at the tail end of the process. It's not something that we think about naturally, but we know how important it is, and we're very particular about it. And we are lucky that we have our little group there. And I'm assuming she wouldn't mind if I said that it was Jackie is who did that for us. She's a core member of our supporting little family. And
shout out to Jackie for sure.
She's great. She's Gion's girlfriend.
Nah.
And she did that, and she nailed it. We let her run with her taste, and she nailed it.
Yeah.
So it's really simple as that, but it is very much intentional, to answer your question, because we know how important that is. I mean, we're here in a record store, how important that is, what you're looking at, how important it can be. The way you hear a piece of music in the album covers is very important,
Absolutely. I think it's one of those examples when I was, again, like going through and listening, really listening, and then looking at the visual and thinking, man, this is just so representative. It's like nail on the head, Jackie, right?
Nice. That's right.
She killed it.
Glad to hear that. Yeah. Thank you.
We talked a little bit again, like before we started, like about, I mean, just the playing, man. Gian is just amazing. So tasteful, like with the bass runs and things like that. Your guitar playing to me, again, it's like pure inspired, like fire, man. Like it's so cool. It's really, really cool. I've seen Canned Heat comparisons.
Nice.
I've seen Deep Purple or Cream even. Like I really feel like that might be something that resonates with Damien maybe. Or on like Tarrant County Memories. That's the one that I'm really into. That's how I knew you were from Ohio originally.
Yeah, man.
Or Pennsylvania or whatever it is, and you got to Texas early because of the lyrics,
That's great.
But that reminds me of like a White Album outtake or something. Like something that would just, I don't know. I mean, how do you land on that sound? Like you said, the 3 of you get together, and maybe the first time it was like, a little bit of like hesitation, but then the second time it's just like, we're in. What were you raised on musically to be in this place,
Yeah, well, when I was 7 years old, I have an older brother who's 2 years older. His name's Zach, and he's the one that initially wanted a guitar. So he did it, and I kind of did it too. And my dad did it as well, so we all 3 did it. And they stuck with it a little, but kind of lost interest, but I really caught the bug pretty early because my dad had given me AC/DC, like high voltage CD.
Nice.
I was hooked. I'm still riding that initial volt, like is still why I'm sitting here. And that's everything when you're trying to do something like that, is having heroes, obviously, or else it's hard to see much reason to get through the grueling parts.
Yeah.
But when you're like, man, I want to be like that. So that was the spark, and that it was classic rock for me all through that age. And my dad, like I said, was a great source of like Stevie Ray Vaughan and things like that, are just like everything you need as a young person trying to navigate a world like that, you know?
Yeah.
Naturally, as I got a little older and I was branching out, I stumbled onto blues, what I would call more traditional blues. Elmore James especially was the first blues straight up that I heard, and I remember it stopping me in my tracks for sure.
Yeah. That's a good sign that something's got its hooks in you.
Yeah, man. That was like, it was again, it just all led very naturally, because it's obviously not a far leap from AC/DC to Elmore James.
Sure. Yeah.
It's really not.
Yeah.
But anyway, and it's been that, and then it was traditional blues for the longest time, and when that's a broad term, obviously. And that's most of where my sensibilities come from. And now being with the guys, where we're just being totally original and free with it. I think that that's the reason we land in a similar place as like some of those bands, because we're drawing from the same inspiration. It's like we do like Cream, but we don't just stop at liking Cream.
Right.
We liked what Cream liked.
Right.
You know, and
Right.
genuinely like it too, and just stumbled in, because I wouldn't have really had any interest in trying to write songs until the right timing, because the blues form especially is very nice to build your own songs off of. It's just the perfect amount of structure, in my opinion. It's not too cumbersome for the musicians, like a 1, 4, and 5 chord. You can hang on that, and it doesn't take much tweaking to get some cool stuff happening, you know?
Yeah.
So that's my personal relation to it. Like we talked about, Damien is similar. Like he's a broad musician, but he spent time playing with those actual people, you know? And so he comes from that place too. And Gian as well, but Gian has a little more... some of the harder sensibilities he brings to the table too.
Like what? Like what do you mean harder?
Oh, like maybe I can't speak for Damien actually, but just for myself, like all the psychedelic stuff, but also some heavier things, in my opinion, like Motorhead and bands like that as well, that I certainly like, but I'm not as familiar with.
Yeah.
So that kind of it all rounds out into psychedelia, I think.
Yeah.
Because we're not trying to recreate any of those things. We're just very, very inspired by what those, you know, Lightning Hopkins means something very original to me. I don't have any interest in trying to do, you know, and I think it's just a good combination of those. I don't know if that answers your question, but that's what's happening, I think. You know? Those intentions of like giving people something with what we've received by enjoying these people's music. We appreciate it so much. We have to do something. We have to shout about it.
Yeah. I love that. It's like putting your own stamp on it, your own way of shouting about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Lightning Hopkins might shout about it one way, or Cream might shout about it another way. Jay Texas shouts about it like this.
Exactly.
I love that. It's great, man.
Yeah, thank you.
You mentioned psychedelia. I've had other bands in here, Saigon Sinners, you know, some other folks like that. Like, what does it mean to you, that whole like idea? Gran Moreno, we talked about that as well. There's a lot of discussion around here. You know, like a few years back, I remember when we were in the old location, there was a big discussion for a while about, should we file Tame Impala in psychedelic? Like, should we do that? Is it new psychedelic? Is it like, I mean, you know, that kind of thing. Like, so I guess what is psych to you? Like, is it music from a certain time period? Is it a sound? Like, what constitutes psychedelic?
To me, psychedelic is a natural occurrence. It's best likened to like moss on a log, in my opinion. And like when the combination of elements, natural elements in a group or a person is right and the molecules align, a very beautiful thing seems to crystallize. And in our realm we're referring to, it's a sonic kind of crystallization. You know, psychedelia kind of happens on its own, and it's like all things, the term can be tacked on at the end. I'm not familiar with other bands happening that I'm too familiar with to say what they're doing, but it's a very rare thing, and it's very precious to psychedelia. It's a fleeting thing if you try and grab it too much. I know that for sure. It doesn't like that kind of intention around it. So we take breathers with our group and remind ourselves our intentions, because psychedelia is medicine. You know, we're dealing with medicine for sure. This music is medicine. So that's my opinion on it, and that's what psychedelia does mean to me. It's a state that occurs naturally when the elements are pure and natural and right. And we're happy to be in a psychedelic state when we get together, and we're always in a psychedelic state because we're grounded in Mother Earth, you know, and that's what it all comes from, baby. Psychedelia is the earth.
It is indeed. Do y'all bring it out in each other? Like this combination? Do you think you could have that combination with other people? Or this is very specific?
This is specific, but it's definitely with other people too. Yeah, it's really cool in that regard. It's I wouldn't say it. Yeah, it's kind of a web of sorts, and being the results of a combination, even if it's a combination in just one person, every different element brings out a different side of things, you know, so every interaction, it's a way of living and just a way of interacting and appreciating every moment you have with another consciousness, you know. I think that's another thing I ought to say about when I hear the term psychedelia, I think of a respect for consciousness. Yeah. And a deliberate respect for it. We have to make an effort nowadays, I feel, to not be too pushed around by the jarring stimulations and advertisements and things around us, you know. And psychedelia for me, is taking a stance on my own mental property, you know. Yeah. For lack of a better way of putting it, but you know, and being precious about it, you know. Yeah, like you said, it sounds like it's medicine. Medicine, you know, keep you tuned into the truth, you know, don't get carried away with illusion. That's all. Absolutely, man. I love that. Yeah, thank you. So as far as songwriting goes for you, we talked about how the three of you get in the room and you have those moments where it's like, oh, this just works. This is like magic. This is great. For you, are you the primary songwriter, would you say? I think so. As far as like lyrically goes, do your ideas start somewhere for you, like like chords, or is it a melody, or is it just sort of like
like a thought you had or like a phrase somebody says? Like how does it work? How does it work for you? And then how do you bring that to the band?
It's generally, it'll stem from, I'm usually always on the guitar. So it'll, I guess it's a melodic thing a lot of times. Generally, there's a variation, but generally I'm strumming along and I find a melody I like. And then I'll, if I really like it, and I think it could be sung, I'll just start spouting stuff to it, right? And do that for how long, sometimes months on end, and sometimes nothing comes. But when it works out right, just kind of spitting phonetics, eventually you kind of just start to get something, right? Whether it's the sound of the words themselves, something just grabs. So I build it up that way, and then you kind of have maybe a hook, and it happens there, and then you kind of follow the rhyme. And I most always build it up from a guitar lick. But having said that, I keep all my senses very primed. Like I'm always writing, I'm always keeping my brain warm. Whatever that means for you, keeping your senses primed, but so that I'm ready. If you're dealing with songwriting, you should live poetically. It's not like you put on your poetic hat when you write a song, you know? You're in it all the time. So I keep myself warm. I'm always either with my guitar or with my pen these days. And it works, you know, when you're enjoying what you're doing, I guess. So that's how the process goes. Yeah. It's a healthy dose of examining my brain, but you have to know what you want to say. You get outside of yourself, but at the same time, you have to really go within yourself. I find journaling very, very helpful for me.
Yeah.
There's a lot to scrape away from me before I get to something universal to say, I find, you know, and I don't know that till I do it. So writing stuff with the intention of showing anyone else, you get a lot of, I get a lot of gunk out, and then I get over some of those more surface level things and I tap something a little deeper. And that's when, you know, you might be onto something because, you know, you can just feel it. And
it resonates with you.
It resonates. Yeah, it resonates. And it resonates in all your moods. And I do it just strumming on my acoustic. That's what everything comes from. I relate to it that way. I take my guitar and go outside and strum all the time. And then when I feel like I've got something worth sharing, then when it comes to the guys, it's also natural. It just happens very quickly usually. And they'll suggest things for sure too. So I write it on the acoustic. And I think it's good to build something like that up from the acoustic. I know you said you're an acoustic player.
I do. I was going to say
you be sturdy, you know?
Yeah, you had me at acoustic.
Yeah,
sure.
Man. I relate to that medium. And I think if it doesn't stand in that medium, then it might not be a very strong piece of expression in my opinion, you know?
I hear you.
And it was Damien. I might have found it anyway, but Damien was the one years back who suggested I try that. I remember him frequently saying that, like, man, pick up your acoustic, you know?
He's full of good ideas.
Man, he sneaks them in there, man.
He does, dude. He does sneak them in there. Oh my gosh, man. All right. Well, like I said, I've been enjoying Suit Yourself in particular. I mentioned Tarrant County Memories, but like Poor Moon, I like a lot as well. Okay. So again, I've got these favorites. Do you have songs that have come out on Suit Yourself or on your self-titled record that you're like, oh, these are the ones I really, really dig into. I really dig these.
Yeah, that's I'm sure I do.
Yeah.
And it changes. I would think that at the moment, a song that I always will have a soft spot for is called Hambone.
Okay.
And it's off our self-titled. It's one of the earliest. It's the first song we put together. And that's when I remember things kicking into gear, I think. I was listening to these old Alan Lomax recordings, probably John Lomax, way back. And that's a form of music, hambone. And it's based on corpophone, which means corp, your body, using your body as a... So it's like a ham bone. And I picked up the rhythm of that and put my own words in there. And it kicked off. So I love that. Every time I hear it, it reminds me of what gave me a place to start, a foothold to start on, because it's daunting otherwise to get into it sometimes. Yeah. But it's like, just take this form, put your own little words in there. And so Hambone. Yeah, I like that one.
That's right. Everybody listening, go out and check out Hambone.
Yeah, Hambone. Where you been?
So lastly, I like to ask people who come in, as you make your way around supporting the records you put out, or just, in life as you're just kind of doing your thing. What are a few things you're listening to that you're into right now? I mean, it can be something, bands around town that you dig or records in general. I mean, we're a record store. So what are some things that you listen to that you're excited about these days?
One record I've been really enjoying, there's a Woody Guthrie record called Sacco and Vanzetti. And he wrote a whole series of songs about these two Italian men who were kind of framed up, and he put together a pretty impressive album, Sacco and Vanzetti, and I find that I just can't get enough of it. It's one of those listens. Woody had such a way of putting things that like is genius in such a natural, I don't want to say understated, but subtle way that just listening over and over and just more and more I shake my head and kind of stop what I'm doing and just appreciate, like for Woody in particular, the clarity he wrote with and the empathy that just kind of oozes through his lines somehow, Yeah. Perfect combination of like artistic language, but very, very grounded. So I would recommend that. I think it highlights what I find so inspiring about Woody, his purity and his strength. and what he was doing with his music. So that's a big one.
Yeah.
For sure. And I found it on a 3-part kind of thing. I don't remember the title, but the Carter family was doing this series of shows out of Mexico from this station.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this would have been from like the 40s, because they were starting to bring some of the it wasn't the original Carter family. They were starting to bring some of the nieces in, and it was like really cool. And it's from I would guess the late 30s and early 40s, all like hours of broadcasts, because I guess Mexico was able to shoot a signal very far.
Yeah.
So groups would go down there, and that's really cool to hear that stuff. It's nice to listen to a radio, like, for one thing, like they were hearing it back then, but it's just
absolutely
a gem. The Carter family, especially for me, is like a real gem.
Yeah.
they're psychedelic. When you hear the way their voices combine, that's psychedelia. The sound of the Carter family's in harmony,
I love that.
And so when you hear it like that, just picture that beautiful sound piped out from an antenna and picturing it all. And I've been enjoying that too a lot. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love that recommendation of the Carter family. That's great. I got to check that out.
Yes.
And Woody Guthrie, of course, man. I mean, come on. Amazing.
He is.
Incredible. Thanks for sharing those with you. Man, thanks for being here today. We really appreciate you coming out. I'm looking forward to your in-store a little bit later. Mm-hmm. But yeah, everybody who's listening, if you get a chance to see Je Texas, you see him coming to your town, you see him around, definitely get out there and see him.
Appreciate that.
Dylan Bishop, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Our pleasure. Thank y'all.
Je Texas's latest is called Suit Yourself. It's on CD. We have it here today. And Je Texas, the self-title, is on vinyl. We have that as well. It's out everywhere you stream your music as well. But yeah, if you want to come up, pick up the vinyl and CD, you can grab it here at Waterloo Records. You can follow them on Instagram at JTexasOfficial and hear more music at jtexas.bandcamp. Dylan Bishop, again, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
And thank y'all for listening. You can follow us on Instagram at Waterloo Records, at Waterloo.sound for our Dolby Atmos studio, at Waterloo_wheels to follow the ongoing adventures of our Waterloo van, and at Unofficial Dogs of Waterloo to see all of our canine pals who come in to shop with us. I'd like to thank Cory Reinisch, our marketing manager, Allie Lingren, our in-house engineer, Mads Lupold for putting these together, Audio-Technica for the headphones and mics, and of course the hardest working record staff on the planet, without which none of this is possible. I'm Gus Ochoa. I'll see y'all next time. And until then, support the artists you love, support your local record store. And if you're in Austin, stop in and say hey. We'd love to see you. Adios, y'all. Cool.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, man.